Hi, and I'd like to welcome you to, excuse me, I'd like to welcome you to Anatomy of an Altar, Part 2. I'm assuming by now, or not, maybe you've seen my other video, where I discussed the actual putting together of the witch's altar. Well, in Part 2 here, I'm going to talk about a very different aspect than just simply constructing one's altar. I'm going to talk specifically about one's spiritual connection with the altar, and thus one's own spiritual connection with the universe. See, we all had to evolve from somewhere. That's the bottom line. Even if the atheists say, they don't believe in anything, well, still had to evolve from somewhere. They have some kind of belief. But for me, yeah, it was a belief in something greater than ourselves for us here. So I knew from early on I was going to be a priest. So here I am now. I'm talking to you. As the goddess would have me put it, ye who are fain to learn all sorcery, yet have not won its deepest secrets, to these will she teach the things that are yet unknown. So here I am today, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about something that's not so unknown, but something that's a little bit more in-depth. Because I'm an in-depth person. And when I set myself to do it, I like to speak from a very spiritual aspect. That is to say, I want to be within myself while I'm talking to you, so I can talk to you as I truly am, which is the witch. And now I'm going to talk to you about the witch's altar. Now again, the first part I described the typical setup for the newcomer, something that was just very basic. Very simple. I have my altar really very simple. So I felt it was probably a good thing to show the newcomer. So now I come to you, newcomer, and to talk to you about the other side of a witch's altar. Now that you have all the tools in place that you need, that I talked about in the first video, now we want to talk a little bit about the spiritual / metaphysical connection. You, yourself, your biology, your physiology, your whole complete being, and as it as it relates to the universe. Your altar, when you're kneeling before it, or when you are before your altar talking to your gods, your goddesses, your deities, you're connecting with that. You're connecting with the energy that you called forth with it. I had mentioned in the first video about the alignment of the candles in the inverted triangle. Now, I realized after I made the video that I really wasn't quite clear on that, and so I felt that, okay, let me make a little follow-up video, and I will clarify why I use the inverted triangle. The inverted triangle represents and is shaped exactly like what is known as the cone of power, the witch's cone of power. Now, this is something that's taught usually word of mouth, so I can't really go into it full depth, but the cone of power is just, it's like a source, it's like an energy source that the witch has deep inside of him, and he reaches out to the heavens with that cone. Well, this inverted triangle represents that cone. So I'm sending out my power into the universe and connecting with the universe through that. So that is why it's significant for my use and for the tradition I was trained. So with that in mind, and using your altar as a mode of worshiping your deities, you have all this energy and movement flowing through your altar. You're now connected with the infinite, the one, the universe. He or she that is many but only one, you know. And you just basically want to get into it. You want to really connect with that energy and let it become you, and let you become it. For your energy and your consciousness is going to be transferred through everything that you do in front of your altar. So every single thing that you do is just going to build and increase the energy in your altar. So as you build and increase that energy in your magic and on your altar, and thus begin to make those changes in your life that need to be manifested. Use your energy wisely, my children, she says. She says, kneel at her sacred altars and adore her spirit. Ask her for guidance and receive it. Ask that doors within you be open, and she will do it. She will help you to do it. She will help you find those doors. For me, kneeling before an altar to worship my deities is not just a simple act. It's a consciousness. It's a whole nother consciousness altogether, whereby I put my entire thought form, my thought body, my etheric body, I guess you'd call it, just goes forth. And I'm no longer here, but I am. And I'm over there, but I'm not. I'm in a world between the worlds. That is really what we accomplish in the Wicca when we call forth our gods. We're creating a world between the worlds. A world that is without boundaries. A world that is between the... it's a boundary, this place that we create, between the realm of man and the realm of the mighty ones. We call him forth, and it's a very special feeling for me to connect with the infinite through Wicca. I have found myself in it's just sheer joy in it. A sheer joy in knowing the goddess and knowing the God in all their myriad forms. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I knew from early on that I was going to be a priest. Even before I knew. I was 16 years old performing my first ritual. Ask me about it sometime, I'll tell you all about it. But it wasn't until I was about 22 years old that I found the craft, that I found Wicca. And so it's just been my life's journey ever since, my soul's journey ever since, to find the wonder and amazement within me. To find the wonder and amazement of the goddess and the God within me. And again, this physical representation, this symbolic gesture, the altar. The altar is what helps me to feel that connection, you know, and just to be able to do it and kneel before them, for their represented here. It's just a very special feeling. And the altar should be very special. It really should. Again, for obvious reasons. But Wicca is a very committed spiritual path. So a lot of people who would watch this video would, you know, shrug it off, cast it off, he's nuts or whatever, you know, I need to get out, or I need some meds, what have you. But still others, I know you would know what I'm talking about. You would understand what I'm saying. And that's all that really matters. If I'm here to help guide and teach the new ones, the true priests and priestesses of the Wicca, her hidden children. That's one of my jobs, brothers and sisters, and some of yours jobs. The goddess tells us, if that which thou seekest thou findest not within thee, thou wilt surely never find it without. And I found her. I found her. And I found myself at the same time. And I think maybe that might perhaps be the capper of the joy, is that in discovering her I discovered me. And when I looked at her, I looked at myself looking back at me. And every time I think of it that way, I think what an incredible journey it's been for me. It's almost surreal sometimes when I think about it. But I digress. So, I just wanted to make this follow-up video, again, to the anatomy of an altar. This will be Anatomy of an Altar Part 2. I guess, in the end, aside from the part about the altar, I wanted to reveal more of myself to you. Me, the witch. The Wicca High Priest. So, my children, her children, thank you for being with me here today. May the goddess guide you with her eternal light and blessings. May she guide you to find yourself. Blessed be and merry part.